Hello, everyone. Colleen Neal again. Let's talk about it. In this episode, I'm going to talk about vestibular migraine. Um, I was diagnosed with vestibular migraine after I was in a car accident. I'm also in a vestibular migraine community on Facebook. And what I've learned about this is that people have it and have gotten it for all kinds of reasons. Some people have no idea why they have it. Young people have it, older people have it. Some people seemingly have it after a traumatic accident, like I have. Some people think it might be connected to hormonal stuff, like they have no idea why. Sometimes it's just a completely sudden onset thing. So, as far as why you may have it, I have no idea. Talk to your doctor. For me, though, it's definitely connected for to an auto accident. So, I'm just going to jump right in and go over the symptoms because, first of all, there's a million symptoms, but I'm going to go over the top nine. And when I try to explain it to people, I just show them this. First of all, it's called vestibular migraine, and I hate that word because when people hear migraine, more times than not, they're like, "Oh, you have a really bad headache." First of all, a lot of people that have vestibular migraine don't even get the headaches. I do, but it is beyond headache. And that's the thing that I'd rather call it vestibular dysfunction because migraine is a misnomer to me. People just hear, "Oh, you have bad headaches." No, it's so much more than that. So I'm just going to show you what I like to show people. Um, this is what I like to show people. These are the nine top symptoms. Obviously, not all symptoms, but these are the top symptoms of vestibular migraine. I actually keep this on my phone so I can show people. So you see, one and two are the biggies. Vertigo and dizziness. So again, some people that I know that have this, they get like the spins. But again, when you talk about vestibular, you're talking about the part of your brain that is dealing with like where you are in space. It's usually having to do with the information from your eyes getting to the vestibular part of your brain. There's different parts of your body that tell your brain where you are in space. So, you know, your eyes, your ears are part of it. So if your eyes are not sending the correct information, then your brain is like, what's going on? So in my case, that's the situation that the wiring between my eyes and my brain is not connecting. So my brain's not getting the right information. So what does that lead to? For me, I get number two, unsteadiness, balance problems, lightheadedness every single day, like every day. So, if I love to garden. So if I kneel down to garden and I get up, like I'm way crazy lightheaded. If I'm lying down flat and I get up, I'm way crazy lightheaded. The more times I get down and get up, the worse the lightheadedness is. So that's every day, all the time, no matter what. The other thing with me, and a lot of people with VM have this, I have my brain perceives the world in such a way that I feel like I'm on a boat. So sometimes I'll just be standing and I'll like, it almost looks like I'm falling backwards or falling forward because for whatever reason, it's like I feel like I'm on a boat. So I don't really get these vertigo spins. A lot of people do that have VM. I get the I'm on a boat situation. So if you're around me and we're having a conversation standing up, I will 99% of the time say, can we like sit down and have this conversation? Because it's really hard for me to stand up and talk to anybody. I need to sit down because otherwise we're on a boat having a conversation and that's not fun for me. So I do feel unsteady. I have balance problems. I will tell you, well, I'll get into the balance problems a little bit. Photophobia. So again, I didn't really know I had vestibular migraine in the beginning because I had really bad concussion and I had post-concussion syndrome as well. So yeah, I was sensitive to light for a really long time and I still am. So, but yeah, people with VM, yeah, they have a lot of trouble being around light, especially in time being around, what do you call it, fluorescent lights and being in stores, grocery stores, big box stores like Costco or BJ's, like it's the work of the devil for us. Like it's really bad and it makes our symptoms worse. So for me to go to Costco to deal with the lights there and everything else, I will leave there and sometimes feel like I'm going to get sick. or I get really dizzy and I have to go home and lie down if I even go at all. Um, Sensitivity to sound or phonophobia is a biggie. This is my number one. This right here can lead me to a really bad vestibular migraine attack. I hate the word attack. I would say incident. Um, Sound is horrendous for me. I cannot be outside if someone's mowing the lawn. Somebody was like nailing, I don't know, doing something to their house. I cannot be around it. I can't go to loud restaurants. I can't be around live music. Um, just motorcycles, loud cars, bass, anything like that is just like sends me over the edge. It's really, really bad. Um, Nausea. A lot of people with VM have motion sickness. They have great difficulty being passengers in a car. In my Facebook group, there's lots of conversations like, how do you survive being a passenger in a car? You cannot look out the side window. You have to look straight or you have to look down. So there's a lot of conversation of how to deal with being a passenger. Many people with this cannot drive, or if they do drive, it's how do you deal with that? Again, not everybody who has vestibular migraine has headaches. That's why it's kind of a misnomer. I do have headaches, but I also have occipital neuralgia, which is, pain, really bad pain in the back of my head. Some people have it unilaterally, some bilaterally, front or back. Some people have tinnitus, or some people pronounce it tinnitus, ringing in the ears. Some people have this, some people don't. What a lot of VM people have, including myself, is intense pressure in their ears. Like your ears are full, almost like that feeling when you're on a plane, just really, really, really intense pressure. Very, 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 very common. Many people have visual aura, vision loss, or dots, or zigzag. I don't actually have visual aura. Some people have, like a very small percentage might have some other kind of aura. And usually you see this right before a migraine attack. I have uh, like a apraxia. So before I have a really bad migraine attack, I usually become very almost like a depersonalization. I become very I don't know, like detached from people. And then I start having language issues. Um, I stutter, have trouble finding words, things like that. When I have usually an attack. Many, many people with VM also have nystagmus, which is abnormal eye movements. Usually it's like their eyes stutter. They might track up and then down, or track down and then up. So difficulty, tracking objects. So these are the top 9. Again, I have all of these, not necessarily the vertigo, but everything else. So this is those of you who have vestibular migraine, I love this graphic and I keep it on my phone. So I just showed people this if they want to know what I have. I said, this is what I have. Okay. So those are the top 9, but there's lots and lots of other symptoms that people have. Again, some people can have them, they'll talk about having a vestibular migraine attack for weeks at a time, months at a time. I have these symptoms every single day. Again, sometimes they're worse. I don't go around a lot of people. I don't go around noise, because I know when I do, for instance, I was at a graduation party for my nephew and people were playing cornhole and there was music, and that was enough. And I had a really bad attack and I had to leave the party. I had trouble speaking. I had trouble walking by myself, things like that. I had to leave the party. So how do you know if you have it, right? So, you need to see a physician. A lot of people go to an ENT doctor. Sometimes they'll go to a doctor like that. I was working with a concussion specialist at the time, and I was going to physical therapy. And in my physical therapy, I was actually doing vestibular therapy. And at the time, although I was getting better in some ways, I was not getting better with my vestibular therapy. I was having major balance problems. I could not stand on one leg. I could not walk in a straight line. I was having great difficulty even with some of my vestibular things. I'm going to do this with my eyes closed. So I'll show you, but I'm not going to do it with my eyes open or I will get sick. What was happening is I was doing these therapies and I would throw up every single time I was there. So if you can imagine taking, let's say 2 pens, right? And having them a good distance away from yourself. Let's see, I'll do it this way. And you don't move your head, right? So I'm just going to move my eyes and you have to move them like this, right? Right. So you're going to do that for a few times. Now I would do this, maybe move your eyes back and forth 30 times and do 3 sets of that. And then you're going to, let's do 2 feet apart vertically. And you do the same thing. I'm not going to do it right now, but you get the idea. You're going to move up and down. I can't do it, so I'm not going to, but don't move your head. Do that 3 sets of 3. I would throw up if I did that. The other thing, which is really a killer for me, is you would put, let's say, a marker in front of you, put it, maybe an arm's length ahead of you. And I definitely am not doing this one. This one would make me throw up. Keep your eyes on it. I'm going to close my eyes to do it, but keep your eyes on it. And then move your head like this, but don't take your eyes off of it. Right? And do that, maybe look at it and move your head 20 times and do 3 sets of that. That would make me throw up. So because of those things and because my lack of balance, right? The other thing I would do is put one foot in front of the other. Just do that and try to balance. I cannot do that. I would fall over. What I would do is I could look at the floor, but as soon as my head got up to about 30 degrees, I would crash. I would move over to the right. So it was clear to my concussion doctor that I was definitely having vestibular issues. So his question was, is it my inner ear? Did I damage my inner ear when I had my car accident? Or is there a brain issue? Is there a central nervous system issue? So he sent me to a vestibular specialist. And what I did is I had 2 balance tests. So for those of you who are wondering, do you have this? You can have something called a VNG test, which is called video stegmography, or a rotating chair test. So I had both. So the VNG test measures eye movements to evaluate the function of the inner ear and the balance system. And that test takes about 90 minutes. You wear goggles, you do, all different things. You're tracking things. It's pretty cool, actually. You can Google that. It's called VNG, video stegmography. You can Google it and you can kind of see examples of it. And then I did the rotating chair. So the results of that showed that I did not have an inner ear issue. I didn't have like loose crystals or something like that in my ear. It was actually a central brain issue. They can also determine through that, like if you have something called, a lot of people in my group, they might have something called BPPV. I'm going to try to say this right. Benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. So BPPV, some people with vestibular migraine have that too. Labyrinthitis or Meniere's disease or vestibular migraine or other things. So you have to get those tests to see if you have those. Some people have the VM and one of those things, but you have to kind of rule it out. I have vestibular migraine, which is this vestibular stuff, which makes me very, very dizzy and affects, obviously balance and headaches. And I have occipital neuralgia, which I also did some videos about. So it's kind of a mixed bag of things. So I work with my doctor and she put me on, I'm on Topamax. There's different treatments for it. You can talk to your own doctor about it. I'm also on, actually my concussion doctor, as well as my vestibular migraine doctor, put me on supplements of CoQ10, B vitamins, and magnesium. That seems to be the brain supplement concoction. So that's what I'm doing now. I just started my treatment with Botox injections, and I'll have those every 90 days. So it seems to be something that people in the migraine world, including vestibular migraine, also do use for treatment. So I did a video about that as well. So that's pretty much it with vestibular migraine. Again, it is very difficult. Some people can drive, some people don't. I will tell you that I no longer drive to places I'm unfamiliar with. There have been times that I've gotten lost. There's times that I just feel that I have a great deal um, of a great deal of, see, I'm having trouble right now. I can't process the information the way I used to, between looking at my GPS, looking at signs, and processing new information quickly. I feel like I can't do that. I work in a job, I'm out of work right now, that um, I had to take in a lot of information very quickly, high level thinking, high level decision making. I am not able to do that job. My memory, my short-term memory is not good at all. It's getting better. And I think part of this is from my concussion, but a lot of this is from VM as well. I just can't process things as quickly. I need people to speak slower for me. Um, I'm not less smart. I always say to people, I'm not less smart. My IQ is the same, but I can't process information as quickly. So I need people to talk slower, especially when, like let's say I'm talking to an insurance company, or I need to make a financial decision about something. I need people to talk slower so that I can take in the information, and I might need to write more things down. I can't keep things in my head. Um, Maybe I could keep 5 or 6 things or 7 things in my head before. I can keep maybe 2 or 3 now. So that's a real thing. Um, and I can't handle the noise. So I can't be around a lot of people. I can't play games with people the way I used to. I just can't tolerate it. The holiday is going to be tough. I will tell you that I use these things called loops. I highly recommend them. A lot of people with VM use them. Um, you can get them on Amazon. They kind of look like, how can I show you these? Kind of look like this. So you can put them in your ears. And the nice thing about them is they don't totally block out all the sound. So if let's say I'm going somewhere with someone and there's other people there, I can hear the person next to me, but it kind of blocks out all the other sound around. So I have gone to a restaurant or two. I have to wear these. Um, and then I can kind of deal with it. Even if I go to a store, I have to wear these because there might be music on and then people are talking and there's noise. I can't function without these. So a lot of people with VM, they use these loops. These are the best things in the world. I have actually used the loops, and I've actually also used headphones on top of them because sometimes it's just not enough. Um, Unfortunately. Also, people with VM, you might see I'll wear sunglasses and a baseball hat if I go out, and these. Again, it's overstimulation. Your brain cannot handle all of that stimuli. So you have to kind of calm it down. I know I haven't tried them yet, but there's also people with VM that use prism glasses because we have nystagmus as well. I'm a huge tennis fan, and I have a hard time because my eyes, like they jump, whatever the nystagmus deal is. I have trouble following a tennis ball, which completely stinks as a tennis fan. So I get really bad headaches. For whatever reason, my vision is terrible. And I talked to my doctor, like, hey, should I go get my eyes examined so I can go get new glasses and contacts? She said, absolutely not, because you're going to get them. And then when you get better, they're going to be completely worthless. So um, I also have really bad headaches. Like I like to knit, but what I've learned is that I can't do anything up close. So I have a really hard time reading a book. I can't even with, these glasses on. So I don't really, I have a hard time reading up close. So I subscribe to Audible and I listen to books. I like to knit, but I can't knit. So for whatever reason, if I'm knitting and I look here, then I look there and here, I get unbelievable, unbelievable headaches. I like to build, you can see above me, I like to build like model architecture. It's Westminster Abbey and that's the Colosseum. I can't, I have this time on my hands. I can't build these things because they're small and intricate, and I can't do anything close to my eyes. I can't look up. So the doctor told me, be sure when you're doing anything, like if I were to go to a movie theater, I have to be able to not be in a situation where I have to look up like that. For whatever reason, when my eyes look up like that, I get really, really bad headaches. That's one of those reasons when I was doing that exercise where I had to look down and look up, I was getting so sick all of the time. So I have to make sure I don't do that. It's funny, anything that I do when I look down is doable, right? So I can cut things on the counter, I can cook, I can garden, but I can't operate in a world where I can look up. When I can walk with my head down and do fine. But if I were to walk and look up, in fact, when the doctor was with me and she said, look at the exit sign at the end of my hallway, and then I want you to walk straight, I totally crashed, almost completely fell over and wiped out. If you asked me right now to do a sobriety test, I would fail it. I don't drink because of the medicine I'm on, but I would fail a sobriety test because I cannot walk one foot in front of the other without completely wiping out. So it's a little scary. Anyway, if you think you have vestibular migraine, obviously speak to your doctor about it. The best way to know is to have those balance tests, which would include a VNG and the rotating chair test. I would definitely recommend, if you do have vestibular migraine, to get yourself in a community. I'm in a community on Facebook called Vestibular Migraine Community, and it's very welcoming, and people just ask all kinds of questions. I know there is a vestibular migraine diet. It isn't something I've played with yet. Um, it I know they talk about avoiding, certain foods and citrus and this and that. I think a lot of people have great success with it. I think it's something you can check out. There's a lot of information out there, but what I'm learning is that it's very, very, very individual. Um, the symptoms are very different for different patients. The diet affects people very different for different patients. Medications affect different patients very differently. So it really is a very individualized thing. But overall, the symptoms are very interesting. And the other thing I think that is also very common is a lot of people who don't have it have a very hard time understanding what people who have it are going through. They simply think you might be making it up, or it's not real, or that it's just a simple game of getting headaches. And that is so not what is happening here. It is very, very much beyond that. Again, it's something that is, for me, has me out of work. There is no possible way that I could do my job with vestibular migraine. I can't I can't drive properly. I can't walk properly. There's no way that I could teach a lot of people because I can't be around a microphone. I can't be around a speaker. I can't think quickly on my feet. My short-term memory is not reliable. My mental endurance isn't reliable. Um, at any particular moment, if I have an attack, my ability to speak clearly is unreliable. At any moment, I can fall into apraxia and lose my ability to speak. Um, yeah, it's not good. And I can't be around a lot of people or a lot of kids. And with that, I think I'll wrap it up. To all my vestibular migraine friends out there, hang in there, take care of yourself, rest, rest, rest. Sleep is so important. You have to get enough of it. Hydrate, eat right, take care of yourself. Don't apologize. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Hang in there, and I'll see you in the next one.